Hello and welcome in, guys. Conquest Coast. We are back with another battle recap, and this time we played the Dweghom again. So 2 times in a row, and it was a great game. I think it's just a very enjoyable matchup playing Dweg versus SK. Very interesting match. So yeah, let's go over it. Let's see what we can improve here, because I think there is a small detail I would really change, but we'll see that later. So yeah, we start off. I send in my goals using the cover from the forest. We were checking how the objective markers work again, because we haven't played. I think both of us haven't played with objective markers maybe for a while. So we have to check how the effective range thing is working. But we figured it out and keep rolling. So yeah, as I said, we placed our goals in cover, so it's a little bit harder to get shot. He has a ballista coming in the opposing forest and 2 units of berserkers with a character, because he wants to cast a lot of spells which generates points for him so he can heal up and negate some damage. It's a pretty cool ability. You can see I swapped over my Sorcerer again, because it is more of a melee army. He has a lot of shooting, but I think it's harder for him to get my archers off because of the range interactions here. So the goals are there to score early, work as a distraction. I don't want to sack them, but in this scenario, which is Forlorn Hope, I think that's what it's called, right? It's kind of safe to score the big zone early with the goals, because I don't think you want to overcommit on those guys, because it's just 110 points, so it's not really worth overcommitting on those guys. And we really need to get the scoring going here, because if he runs away with the scoring, he can play super cagey. But if you want to score with his light units, he needs to keep the spellcaster around, and he needs to succeed the spell to get the scoring, right? It's the same thing we do with the goals. Sometimes it just bites you in the butt, right? We send in the archers here close to the objective marker, so we can shoot it if we don't have any other targets. But since we can just use a fiery dominion to kill it, I don't really like wasting actions on shooting objective markers, but I think we're still gonna do it once, because I misplayed my archer's range a little bit, but we'll see that a little bit later. So we move them in, keep them kind of defensive. We have the big Rajakur block with the healing in front of the big objective stone, so we can get the arcane conduit stuff running. You can see he brought in the Drake and another unit of Ballistae. And I think his target here is to get in range of maybe my goals, get in range of the Rajakur if they want to move in, and start blasting them with the Drake, ballistas, etc., etc. He's also playing the other Drake is the Forge Fiend. What's it called? Fire Fort? No, the golem guy, the stone golem thingy. The Dweghom names, they still confuse me with all the Forge Fiend or whatever the names on those units are. We call him the big stone golem, so we know what we're talking about. My army arrived super fast again, so we picked our flank. We got our flank Mahut. We picked the Rakshasa, and we rolled 2 and 4 or something. We got all the units in, which is lovely. So we can set up our stuff and check out how we want to stage everything. Because overall I had a good idea how I want to play stuff. My big guys would depend a little bit on where he's going to place his big stuff. So I did my Rakshasa at the end of the activation this turn, so we can really see where he places characters. And maybe in this match we can at least try to do something with the Rakshasa, because so far I did not really play him well. Yep. So let's see, maybe we can change that on this match here. So as I learned from last game, I was already considering again hopping over my units with the Flamecasters, but then I was like, no, there's absolutely no reason to. I'm anyways not able to score here. I don't want to make him push up with the Flame Berserkers and then threaten my Flamecasters. I much prefer him to pressure a 3-man unit of Rajakur because it's 120 points. I don't really care too much about those guys. Each like turn they stick around in melee or they absorb some shots. I'm good. I'm fine. The only thing is we cannot heal the Rajakur. We could technically move the Sorcerer over and then cast on himself, but I mean, you're probably in a super heavy winning spot if you're gonna be able to spend so many actions healing up a 3-man Rajakur block. As you can see, we're setting up rituals, and overall in this match I was very happy with the ritual bank and how I managed the rituals. I had all the rituals I needed, like let's say almost all the rituals where I needed them, so it feels like I'm doing an improvement on my general ritual play, which is of course good to see. So my army is overall placed in the center so we can contest these zones, and everything is very close to each other. We have the Mahut in the center so it can heal up with Die of Blazing Tempest. Oh yes, we had some connection issues. Should be quite fast. Yeah, let's go. We're back in the game. Where was I? Yeah, everything is pretty stacked up. We have the Flamecaster staged behind our Rajakur. We have archers in the center, so we can, if we want to, we can support him with volley reroll spells. There's also the Flamecasters we could target with that. We have the Ghols that can move up a little bit, maybe work as a body blocker to block these Flame Berserkers, or if we are able to, I was thinking maybe with a ritual, if he's really not doing any damage, we can maybe triple activate them and pick up a Ballistae unit, which is a pretty good trade, I think, overall. So our final piece here for the turn comes in, which is our Rakshasa, and we send him in on the left flank. That's the play I usually tried so far with him. He was always working as a flanker, and I think the placement here is good. I like him where he is because there's a lot of characters on that side. I think it's 3 characters. I think he could struggle. That was my initial thought. He could struggle with that big golem because it's 20 HP, good resolve stats and everything. We match fine against the Drake because the Drake doesn't have that much HP. It's a 3-up save, resolve 3 I think, so with the terrifying and everything, we can melt through that guy pretty fast. Especially if we could charge dual clash or something. If he denies the duel, we get the full reroll, so that should hurt. But that's what I was thinking for his placement. I know there is some water there, so the water could be annoying, so I really want to move around it as fast as possible and try to avoid it if I can. Yeah, but overall, happy with the placement. We don't block, at the moment we don't block our stuff pretty bad if we don't mess up with our activation order. Because if you're that close with everything, keep your stack in mind, especially if you switch up some maneuvers on the spot because of, unit flexibility. As you can see, he does basically the same thing, placing his stuff in the center more or less. I think his left flank, right side for me, looks a little bit light so far. We have just Rajakur there, but our elephant is quite fast, so our elephant could still choose which side he wants to engage with. As you can see here, going into our next turn, that's turn 3, we move our Rajakur up so they can start scoring. I don't care too much if we get shot by Ballistae. That's okay. If you want to move up with the AP2 guys, he could do that. Would hurt us a little bit, but I wasn't scared of he breaking my unit this turn So that's why we just towed on the object with the Rajakur. I think if I want to make it a little bit safer, I could at least... Oh no, I think it doesn't matter. I think it doesn't matter. Yeah, because if he kills one unit, we take the one on the right. And if he kills another stand, we would be broken anyway. So it doesn't matter if the command stand is on the spot. It would only matter if we want to spellcast on him for the seizing. So, but that's not a problem now. And we have the Flamecaster right behind it. So if he wanna charge us and ends up there, and we can freely activate our Flamecasters, that could hurt him. Now, wait a second. Oh, yeah, that's the AP2 unit that I was mentioning before. So the AP2 guys came in the forest there, so they could probably pressure us. No, I think they need 2 turns to get to the Rajakur. And yeah, as I said, the 2 Ballistae units in the center, they are not really scary because it's AP1, we are hardened. So we basically take 50% of the shots, or basically we take 50% of the hits. So yeah, it's probably 4 to 5 damage expected. We got another DC here. I think this time we struggled to find the server. We will cut that out. So, alright, there we go, back in the game. Yes, the connection thing was bad. Never had that. Like sometimes the TTS goes down, but today we just struggled with some DCs. Alright, back to the match. Trading damages here and there. I shot the Ballista with my archers, did some damage. I think he's going to shoot... Oh yeah, he did 1 damage on my Rajakur. So overall, from the dice rolls, it was early, it was super pillow-fisted. We didn't really hit a lot, or if we did hit like average, the save rolls were just absolutely bonkers. So there wasn't too much damage going on early. So he moves up the Berserkers to threaten my guys. Obviously. I mean, I wasn't too scared because... Oh yeah, true. So he moved and charged us, didn't attack us, so he was hoping to get an initiative next turn because he was having priority. But I knew he had like 2 options here. He could just clash us and then try to charge us again on the Flamecasters, which would be pretty bad. But I was pseudo confident too, if he just clashes us, we should survive it. At least our command stand should still be alive, on average. But to make things a little bit safer here, we try to get some damage in so we can maybe remove a stand. So we shoot our dancing Scimitar. I didn't forget it this match. Last match was a learning lesson for me, because when I did the replay I saw on how many spots it would have mattered. And in this match, again, it was doing so much damage. So dancing Scimitar, absolutely great item. We move forward with our Rakshasa to pressure him a little bit, because we have, with all the characters over here, we have a big movement advantage, so a big threat range. I think, jumping a little bit forward here, I stepped on the gas pedal with the Rakshasa too early, I think, in this matchup here. From the start on, the position now is fine. I love the position he's in. He should be angled a little bit more, so he basically just faces towards the center, and then we use him as a counterattack piece. Or if he really want to commit, yeah, maybe we put him even a little... We really have to go on max range and put him as close to the board edge so we can still move him around well. And if he wants to commit something to get close to us, he needs to kind of expose himself and move over, which takes time. He's not able to score, he's far away from the objective zone. I mean, we are far away as well, but we are kind of fast, and if we need to go onto an objective zone within a turn, we could move basically 21 inches. So that shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, for now, position was good. I was threatening the stuff I wanted to threaten. The Mahut angled a little bit, so we have good vision there as well, see the stuff we need to see, so we can start dealing some damage. We didn't remove a base on the Berserkers because the Rajakur is not a fire unit. I wish it were Ghols, because then our fire spell is so much more effective. But since all the spells are interfered, we got our first conflict, by the way. Yeah, since all the spells are interfered, it was kind of a hustle to cast spells here, and we both of us, we failed quite a lot of spells, and there were some key spells that both of us kind of needed, didn't come off. At other points we got like, all the spells, and even the most difficult ones with interference and scaling. So yeah, a lot of magic. The winds of magic were given and taken on all fronts. As you can see here, this is the fun one. So going into this turn, we go for minus defense on the Berserkers. And since he's playing, because I used the conflagration to do it, so our Jadoo is running. I was really hoping to get it, we get it. So yeah, Jadoo was running, because Jadoo is super important. We have 2 opportunities to get it running with the Sorcerer being able to cast the spell through conflagration. So we started with minus defense, and when he did his second activation, which did not happen right now, but just telling you guys, we used our "you cannot heal anymore" spell. You're not able to heal until the end of the round on this unit, and it was big because he had a lot of tokens there. He could have made this a lot harder for us. And hindsight, we should have maybe gone pretty fast into the double combo, the no healing minus defense, and then start to do damage. Because right now he was able to heal a little bit when I hit with the Rajakur. But overall it worked out in the end. So everything's fine. Telling you about the failed spells. He failed the scoring spell on the Berserk, so that's why he was even more tempted to send them in, because he wanted to deny me scoring, because we both played very defensive. So we really knew if one of us gets ahead to very weird circumstances, with like even let's say 6 points ahead, 4 points, 6 points ahead, that person, it can really turtle up and just protecting those 2 zones, right? And the other person then has to start coming in and denying points, and then it can get harder because you have to open up, you have to make decisions, there's charges you could fail, there's a lot of stuff that couldn't go in your favor. The other thing was, since killing characters gives you 2 points in this scenario, and he was running 5 characters, which is so wild, but the list he's running is so cool. It's it's a lot of points he can give up here and there. So, sorry for that noise. Hitting our table here. So over here we basically blast everything into the Berserkers. We shoot with the Flamecasters. We didn't do crazy damage, even if we should do like quite some damage. It was, as I said, quite pillow-fisted early, but we had a ton of dice we could throw at those Flame Berserkers. And we also have the Mahut over there, ready to move over onto the right side and start pressuring that side. And that was actually my plan, because I saw his placement, and there was just Berserks, Ballistae, and 1 unit of the AP2 shooters. And Ballistae is not really doing a lot of damage. They also have to watch out because I killed him kind of fast if he's not super buffed. So The only unit that could really stack up some damage over there right now is that AP2 shooty guys. But they are also something we could pick up in melee or cast some spells, Dancing Scimitar, etc. So I felt my Mahut would be safer doing a big curve over the right side and then starting to go on the objective zone and start to stack up my Arcane Conduit. We move over our Rajakur a little bit, so they are a little bit better as a screen in front of my Flamecasters. We also, I think we moved them sideways and then backwards, so our 7-inch range from the flame. So if he charges us, he's within 7 inches of our Flamecasters, so we can shoot them with torrential fire, which hurts against the Berserkers because they're not super tanky. They're still defense 3, which is decent, but still, I mean, they take 50% of the hits that sink in, so it's good for Sorcerer Kings because Sorcerer Kings, how they like work at the moment, are more like a quantity over quality army. It's more you have to squeeze as many dice out of your army as you can possibly with spellcasting, shooting, melee, trample, impact, etc. Because if you don't accumulate enough dice, our army is not doing really anything. We need dice, we need rerolls to stack even more hits, and then the army does pretty well. So we shoot with the Flamecasters because he did not move in so far. I think, oh yeah, he charged us. He tried to charge us and he failed his 3-inch charge with a reroll. He got the 5-inch charge on the other side, so as I said, the winds of magic, or let's say the wind of the dice here, they take and they give. How we know it from dice games, so it can always swing into the other direction. So that's why you should try to keep playing optimally. Don't get mad at the dice. So you're grabbing the opportunities that the dice could give back to you, right? Okay, he wiggles around a bit, looking for a target, and he was really not sure where to start with his damage, because he was thinking about chipping the Rajakur. They already activated this turn Maharajah as well, so maybe there was like a mistake on my side. Maybe we could have gone a little bit earlier with the Mahut, because there is less pressure on the Mahut. And we could move over, so our Rajakur are still, if he wants to start chipping in some damage, we could heal them up. But he decided to not chip in damage because of the healing. And I think it's a smart play, because if you cannot keep up the consistent damage, you might end up at a point where you did nothing. Now our Mahut, we move in charge. I think since we, for some reason, used our conflagration, I don't think on the right spot. We just had to move charge the Mahut, get some trample and impacts. We did some damage, but he pulls me a little bit further ahead, which makes it harder to see for our archers. But since that one Rajakur base, it was so hard to remove. On that small Rajakur unit, the left base is not there anymore, so we get a line of sight onto the Berserk, so we can shoot with some of the archer bases. And if it's just one that sees it, we could still arcing fire on that guy if needed. But I think it was 3 bases that could draw a line of sight, so we were able to shoot. And as you can see there, the Berserks are melting away. They are not denying the zone anymore, which puts us back to 2 and 2 zones. And we have 3 Arcane Conduit triggers at the moment, which is the highest we got in this match. The Sorcerer in this match I said to myself, don't be greedy with your sorcerer. If I can get some arcane conduit triggers, we take them. But I think the sorcerer is really important to stay in the center here, so he can get his spells wherever they need it. Because if my opponent wants to deny me zones, the +2 for seizing can come in handy. As you saw, if you charge in with something, we can add minus defense, stop you from healing, and then chip through. So some good opportunities there. Now we still, I mean, at least we didn't send him in instantly. So I took another turn off with my Rajakur with the Rakshasa, and moved him back a little bit. And as you can see here, it's the ritual turn. We got 3 rituals. We got a Conflagration, a Fiery Dominion, and Inside Rage. The Inside Rage, we want to use it on the Mahut. It's, you know, the Mahut, if you want to charge in with the Mahut, I really recommend using the shock ability, because you want to get the C3 on your impacts, and you want to go to C4 on your 10 attacks, because otherwise you're lacking damage. But with hitting on 4s, with rerolls on the 6s, the Mahut actually hits pretty hard. With Terrifying, Cleave 1, Brutal Impact 2, and with the Maharaja, with Lord of Conflict, because yes, we play the most expensive Maharaja you can play, with 205 points, just the rider, and another 240 points for his lovely small little elephant. So it is a super expensive package, but if he does what he does best, which is like killing stuff, blasting spells, he's a really good piece. Because as you can see, he already pseudo cleaned up some of those berserks, is in a prime position to charge Ballista. If he kills Ballista, we can go into our next etc. So he can really start cleaning up that side if we don't die, if we can get our healing. So with the triple ritual turn, you can see there over there, I put my Rakshasa right after my first card, so you know probably what I'm going to do. And hindsight, I think it's not the turn where I should send him in. First, we failed our spells, so we don't have Jadoo. So that's already telling me, just don't. But then I was, okay, we can bind up those Flame Berserks, touch the objective behind, and since the Flame Berserks are blocked, I mean, if they're in melee, you cannot move through them anymore, right? It makes it harder to move up with his army. So that was my idea, to buy me some time. I'm not sure if a 260 Rakshasa is the right thing to buy you some time. But we did it. As you can see, he moved in. He hit total ass, and he had great saves, so we did 3 damage. I think expected is 9. We did 3. Pretty sad. But even if we do 9, I mean, he has still a lot of tokens. So we probably can chew through one base and chew through some tokens. So that's why we should have held back another turn. And if he's moving in with the Berserks, he frees up the path to the Drake. And then if I can charge the Drake, that's probably the moment I send it in, because the Drake is gonna melt. It's really gonna melt. If I get a move duel clash action, I think if I move charge clash, let me just think about it. It's 15, right? No, it's 16 attacks. We hit on 4s. Let's say we got the Jadoo because, yeah, I should have waited another turn because we didn't get the Jadoo. Let's say we have to do it. We hit 10 to 11. With the rerolls, I think it could be 12-ish hits. He saves on 2, so he saves, yeah, so that's 8 damage already. he saves on 2s again, so that's about, yeah, let's give him 3, so it's 5-ish. Oh my goodness, that could actually pick him up in a swing. I mean, he's 14 HP, right? So he should stick around on like 1 or 2 HP on average, but it's so such a tiny margin. And if we got the maybe we could even, oh, I forgot with the trample. Yeah, actually with trample and AOD, if he activates, we kill that Drake. We actually kill the Drake. So that should be my number 1 target. But we didn't do it. It wasn't the worst play. I mean, it still buys me a turn, which is annoying for him since his guy, his rider, is very slow. So he anyways needs like all the speed he gets. It's already turn 6 and he just reached his zone. So I think overall it's not a bad play, because if I don't go in, he's able to move up super hard and deny me. Maybe it was, even if it looks super sacrificial here, maybe it actually is a good play. I think we can hold the zone. It is very dangerous if he's able to send in too many guys. But I think, yeah, we have to, if he sends in the Flame Berserkers, maybe we have to, yeah. We have to time it well, so if he sends in the Flame Berserkers, he opens up and we can charge the Drake. Because if we charge the Drake, he still needs 1 unit. So he needs the big golem and the shooters to take down my Rakshasa. And if we already killed the Drake with a mage on it, I think he already did his stuff. And holding up his army for a turn. That's not something, it's hard to measure in points, but it's not something we should underrate here. Since Sorcerer Kings and Dweghom, it feels like in a lot of missions it's a very tight scoring game. So each denied duel that could stop you from scoring, each dead character is really tipping it over here. Alright, so the Ghols, oh yeah, the Ghols are still alive. They charged the Ballistae at some point because we can move charge. I was like, yeah, just bind them up so they cannot shoot, and they're pretty ass in melee. Finally he managed to kill me off. But I think the Ghols did what they needed to do. They scored me the objective zone 3 turns, which is 6 points, and did 3 damage to the Ballistae, and I think they could have done more damage there. So maybe, yeah, we could have healed them a little bit to make them a tad more annoying. I think we healed them. Did we? No, I didn't think we healed the Ghols this match. We healed a lot on the Rajakur. It surprised my opponent again, like how much healing this unit can really do if they have to, and if I put my cards into the right order. Because it always makes me sweat, because you need to make some. It's every turn when they're close to the center, you have to think about when you have to do them. And that's what I like about the small Rajakur unit we put in, because the little bit of flexibility it gives me, I really appreciate it so far. That's also something, if the small Rajakur units stick around, they give me a little bit more of flexibility, which I really like. As you can see, he starts chipping my Rajakur with the Flame Berserkers. I think he also was shooting them with the Drake. We healed up our Flamecasters, so we get the Jadoo running, and they count as +2 for seizing. It doesn't matter this turn, but hey, we can still do it. And they are in a good position for a move, aim, and charge. And that's why we had a 3 ritual turns, so I put 1 Flamecaster unit behind the ritual, because both of them are in a good position. The right one can move up and shoot something, help the Mahut a little bit to chew through those units, hold the point, and the other one, yeah, works as the the Rajakur support unit. I mean, the play there is really straightforward. I mean, one of the units of Flamecasters, that's what they always do. They stick behind the Rajakur block. And since we are just 5 inches deep, we can play it really well with our torrential fire range. I was complaining about the roll there a little bit because it was I was so disappointed there again. But hey, there is nothing we can do there. We still did good damage, or we did some damage, let's say that. But our Flamecaster, yes, they came after the ritual, so we destroyed the objective zone with the Fiery Dominion. Our Mahut was in range. Oh yeah, by the way, our Mahut, as you can see there, charged the Ballista. Didn't do any damage because he had that +2 defense spell, which makes him immovable, but we did basically like 2 damage. He started shooting us with the AP2 guys, and as you can see, we started collecting some damage. So we are down to 12 HP on the Mahut. But 8 damage is an okay spot for the Mahut, because we get heal from the Eye of Blazing Tempest, so we are basically down to 5. And we gave us AOD and +2 for seizing, so we can outscore him. Oh no, that's not what we did. I think we just... Yeah, I think we gave us AOD, but this one doesn't give us scoring because it's the Sorcerer one. I think we just wanted to heal as much as we can. Which makes sense because the damage spell here with defense 5 doesn't make any sense. Because yes, we get the 3 extra hits, but defense 5. Just, yeah, that 1 or 2 damage we do here is not really worth it. And the thing is, I want to go into my next turn and start fighting them before they get all the defense buffs, because with just the shields they have, which doesn't really help against the Mahut with Line Breaker. Yes, the Mahut and the spellcasting from the guy can chew through them pretty fast if they are not stacked on defense 5. With the Arcane Conduit, we were able to get 2 conflagrations in. So we had a 3 ritual turn backed up by a 2 ritual turn, which is lovely. Oh yeah, we still had to get rid of the Fiery Dominion there, which is lovely. So that's why I said I was really happy with the overall ritual stacking. I think late game I forgot 1 or 2 ritual activations. But yeah, overall we did well. We didn't forget the Scimitar. Scimitar was doing damage here and there. Absolutely lovely. As you can see, we chew through one of the bases of AP2 guys so far, because they are so scary. They're so freaking scary. They do a lot of damage if they're in effective range and can aim and shoot. Yeah, damage is so scary. So the Mahut, so it went down to, what was it, 3, now it's back up to 8 damage, so we already healed up by 5, which is great. Now for activations going into our final turns, he started chipping into my Rajakur more and more. We counter healed them with everything he had. So we used our plus movement spell, which I think healed us for 6. And I think later on we went for a damage spell, which healed us for another 2. So that is pretty good. We killed the Berserkers, we still hold our zone, and it is getting a little bit tricky because I don't think my Rajakur are really able to hold the side. It's too much dangerous stuff. So the only thing here is I want to get as much out of my Rajakur as I can. I think this sphere was a cool play. We just, since we couldn't charge him. Oh, could we actually have charged him and pushed the other guy back?
Oh, I have to double check that because I was not considering that. We could swing the other way around. We could swing through at the right corner and touch him. And there is some rules where you can push your opponent, right? I need to check. Maybe you could have done that here. But anyways, doesn't matter. We moved over, charged the Drake, so he cannot shoot us because shooting is scary. And the big golem cannot see us anymore. I mean, he's charging the Flamecasters, and the Flamecasters are dead. But otherwise, he would have just charged the Rajakur, killed the Rajakur. He could shoot everything into my spellcast and shoot everything to my Flamecasters. We lose them as well, and he could outscore us anyways. So putting my Rajakur there, and in the end this turned out great because the Rajakur were still able to start chipping some damage into the Drake, because this Drake is not that scary in melee. It's not bad, but it's not as scary as the Golem, because the Golem is basically a melee thing. The other one is pretty shooty and magey. Alright, so yeah, my next target to kill here, because I'm not scared of the Ballistas. The Ballistas, I have to do like some drive-by kills, and since they are behind terrain, it's a little bit annoying. So we shoot the Drake, start chipping in some damage, because it's just 14 wounds if I'm correct. I mean, it's a lot of wounds, but it's not crazy. And 14 wounds with a 3-up save, we can chew through that pretty fast. And as you can see, the scoring game is very close at the moment. The numbers are a bit buggy, sorry. It's 19 to 24. So we have a 5-point lead. So we know if we go for the 2-zone game, where we both hold 2 zones, we win the game. It's turn 7. So I cannot let him score 3 zones, absolutely not, because that would swing it so fast. But if we can pick up another character, we can make it close to ceiling. The elephant ceiling again, he was up to 15 damage, which is scary. Sorry, so we decided to go for a good healing turn again. Heal him up with the Maharajah, heal him up with the Eye of Blazing Tempest and everything, so we get him in a healthy spot. And since he failed, I think it was the good, they did not have the defense spell, so we were able, since we had 3 activations, we were able to inspire, clash, and charge the AP2 guys. And I think this was one of the big turns which swing the game around pretty hard, because we cleaned up that side basically in a turn. The Mahut did crazy amounts of damage in the match. I mean, he killed a lot of the Flame Berserkers, picked up the Ballista, now picked up a base of those AP2 shooters, and very close to finishing it off with a spell. So that's probably another close to 300 points. Maybe 270, no, could actually be, yeah, depends on the items, it could be close to 300 points, I have to check that. We move forward with our Flamecasters to shoot onto the AP2 guys, and so if we don't kill them, which we did, we could spellcast, get an extra success, and you know, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. In contact with fire, so you're getting like an average of 8 hits. With terrifying on your resolve check, so you're pretty dead here. Now we lose our Rajakur. It's fine. Now, as you can see here, he cleaned the left side, we cleaned the right side. We both have a big roadblock up the board. There's another 5 heal coming in on the Mahut, so what was it now so far? Around 10 heal we did, so a 30 HP Mahut so far, at least for my opponent, which is tough. And we have priority, so the Mahut here can go first. We have a ritual, a conflagration up, which is bonkers. So we, as you can see there, we can just conflagrate, cast a spell, which could technically heal us, or I think we go with the Sorcerer to get the Jadoo running, because the Jadoo is kinda important for the Mahut, because yes, it struggles a little bit with the stats, so you need everything to make it do some damage. So yes, we reform, charge, clash to pick up another unit of Ballistae, or at least try to, but with Impact Line Breaker we did good damage here. I'm not sure, I don't remember 100% if we picked up the unit just with the swing here. Yes, we actually did. So, well, the Mahut going crazy. We knew he could get one activation between my Maharaja, so as long as we don't take 10 damage, and I don't think there's something that has an expected damage of 10 on the Mahut, we can, as usual, heal up again. And here we got Dancing Scimitar, which puts the Drake down to 4 HP. He was using his tokens. So I was like, whatever, let's just spellcast on that guy, not heal the extra 2 on my Mahut, just heal 3. And we just blasted that guy because we get 5 successes, which is a lucky roll. We cannot complain here. We failed a lot of spells, so I think at some point there has to be one spell that is at least a little bit above average, if you have some that are like below average. And we got it there where we needed it, so I think that was the final nail there, because that really cost him the final resources that he needed. I mean, if he was in a leading position, he could still probably play it down from here, because it's so late. He can block me and could pull it, but we killed another character, which gives us 2 points, and I think he had no way to get to my zone, so we basically called it there. As you can see, it's like, yeah, we can just play defensive now, you win the game, because the Mahut was so freaking good in this game. It did so much damage. Just walked around, did a big curve, did a big U-turn, and swept around 800 points. But that's the thing with the Mahut. We have to play, it's the thing we have to play really well, have to be very conscious and make a good plan, see what things we can trade out, because if it stuck somewhere too long and your opponent can line up and start aim fire, magic, countercharging it, it can melt pretty fast. So I think overall I was happy. There is just that key moment where I charged in the Rajakur, right? Where I'm not sure if I should do it, and charged him in. That was one of the big, and the other one was with the Rakshasa. I still... There is one thing. I was thinking, if I kick out the Rakshasa, it's 260 points. I could cut one base of my archer, which gives me 300 points. So 300 points would be a unit of initiates and 1 unit of disciples. So we have 2 small disciple units. So one could stick close to my Maharaja block and get buffed all the time. Because there is normally some downtime on my Maharaja. And the other one has to reroll 6s because it's a fire unit. That's one thing I was considering. We could also play maybe Flamecasters and a unit of Rajakur, which is maybe even better. We could also play Flamecasters and the other unit of Ghols, and then have 20 points to give our Air Maharaja Wizard 8. So we have more healing and we don't care about scaling. But scaling doesn't matter if we go down to the 3-man unit, except because it's the volley spell that is scaling, except we want to cast it on ourselves just for the healing, not for the volley.
So I think I will give the Rakshasa another 1 or 2 shots, see if I can make it work, but I'm still struggling. And maybe we get another opportunity to use it as a counter piece. But yeah, hope to learn something, guys, as always. That's it for our match. Great game, thanks to my opponent. A really close one, we managed to win it. I think 34-29. So yeah,